I'd like to review something tonight. I just read an article. It just brought back a lot of memories that I hadn't thought about in years, and I just wanted to say a few of them tonight. I remember going to the arcade in York Beach, Maine. I don't remember the name of it. I'll look it up, see if I can find it. I remember playing those video games for hours, for days, like when we'd go to the beach there. Like, it was so much fun. Like, I knew instantly when I saw that Star Wars game you could sit in, and it was just horrible graphics, like lines and dots. But like, I remember being like, oh my god, this is like amazing, like being blown away. I remember, like, there's not a lot of things I think in your lifetime that ever really affect you in that like profound kind of way. And I remember going and playing these. I remember Outlaw, I believe it was, where you're a cowboy on one side and the other, and there's either a cactus or a covered wagon in the middle, and you can shoot one pixel away at a time. So you can try to go up and shoot with your handgun or down, and your person, your other guy would be trying to do the same to you, and you'd be shooting through this thing because you're trying to be the first one to shoot the other person. And that was in the arcade. And I remember getting my Atari 2600. It was for Christmas 83, 84. When did that come out? I remember just losing my mind. That was one of those presents where, you see videos of kids just going crazy. Like, I don't know if I actually reacted that way, but that's how I felt. Being able to control what was going on the screen was just like a magical moment. Something just turned on in the brain. And funny thing is, I'm not very good at video games in general. Probably like Nintendo was the last system that I could do okay on, and even that I had some problems with. I think going from this to like this was a little tough. I actually, for the longest time, played my Nintendo upside down, the controller upside down. My thumbs were on the back of it, the controller would be upside down, and I would go up, down, left, right over here, and B and A were over here. And that felt completely natural to me for some reason, and that's how I played Nintendo. And then Super Nintendo came out, and all of a sudden you had the bumpers up top. You had 1, 2, and then there was 4 buttons here, so there was 6, and then directional there, plus start and select, or whatever it was at the time. And so then you couldn't do that anymore because it was awkward. But I'd have to say, up to that point, still my favorite system was the Sega Master System. I remember making the decision to get that instead of the Nintendo Entertainment System when it first came out. It feels good. Damn, my fingers are getting fat. Well, I don't know if they're getting fat per se, but my rings are shrinking. But Sega Master System had some games on it that I can't remember the names of. But I remember Space Harrier was one of them. Outcry? The car game I remember you could change the station while you were playing. It was just like, oh my god, you can do something else other than drive and brake. Like, you could do other things. And they had the card system. The original Sega Master System had cartridges and these little cards, these weird cards. Why that didn't take off, I'll never know. I guess they didn't hold enough memory back then. But you would think if they had just invested a little bit more time, we would have had like USB back in like the late 70s, early 80s or whatever. That was a good system. I love that system. And the gun was so much cooler than... Well, now I actually prefer the look of the NES gun. But back then it was so slick, that black gun with the red piping on it. Man, you could kill some aliens with that. Yeah, those were good times. After that, I started playing less and less. I got a Genesis. The Genesis had Altered Beast, Golden Axe. Oh, Golden Axe was, for me, the first game that, like... Well, first you had weapons. Second of all, you could grab people and throw them. Like, up till then, it was like punch, jump. There you go. You might get a double jump if you're lucky. So Golden Axe was one of those games. But Ghouls and Ghosts, now that, a lot of people say that's one of the hardest games to beat, or maybe just for that system. And I beat that several times. I loved that game. I loved the challenge of it. After that, things just got crazy, like too many hands and buttons and stuff. But that, man, that was a good game. So I kind of missed out on a lot of the, Nintendo trends. Like Mario, I was never really good at. Like I got it, and I still like playing it, but I was never good at it. I couldn't do it. I don't know why. Timing. I think my timing in that game was just off or something. Alex Kidd Miracle World. That was, I guess, Sega's reply, and that's where they made a mistake. They should have gone with Sonic a little earlier. That was a fun game. I liked it. I liked it a lot. But, after I played Mario, I was like, oh, Mario is a lot better. You can move around a lot more freely, back and forth. And it was just cool. And then there's always, oh, hang on. That's what I should start doing. Showing you some fun things like Excitebike. That was probably my favorite Nintendo game, and that was one of the first ones. I'm hoping this thing works. See, I always wanted to build up some pressure, so it would blow anything out of it. And the little cracks. Unfortunately, I don't have a Nintendo yet. I'm thinking I'm going to get one of those systems that has the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Genesis. That way I could play that. And then, of course, there's... Ba-boom! I guess originally it was just Mario. I never knew that. And then, or maybe they wanted to start selling the guns, so they added that in. And then they added that track and field game, unless you get the robot game. And then that, I can't remember what else I came up with. But I see these very rarely at the Goodwills, but I haven't been going to the Goodwills a lot lately because I don't know. I feel like I spend money there, even though it says 50 cents there, $1 there, $2 there. This is the primary reason why I'd be interested in going, is finding a Nintendo or some old systems and stuff like that. But nobody gets rid of them around here. They actually have them as a store that, oh my god, it burnt down. But before it burnt down, they had anything you were looking for. But somehow it burnt down. Just after they discovered that she was buying stolen merchandise off of people in there because an undercover cop went in. And then she said she didn't know how to speak English. Liar! Liar! I didn't really like this woman for personal reasons. Not personal. She was very religious. And I mentioned, there's a customer that comes into my work that looks exactly like Stephen King. I nearly crapped myself the first time he came in. I went and I grabbed something. I'm like, does Stephen King live around here or something? Did he move? I'm like, is that Stephen King? I'm like, it looks exactly like him. They're like, I don't know what he looks like. I'm like, you know what he looks like? So I ran over, grabbed one of his books, and I brought it back. And they're like, I don't know, it might be. And so I asked him. That's how much he looked like Stephen King. I was just like, if I don't ask him and I find out that Stephen King was in Lynchburg, on this day, a week from now, I'm gonna be pissed. So I'm like, has anybody ever told you look like? And he's like, Stephen King. And I was like, yeah? Expecting him to be like, yeah, that's me. He was just like, yeah, people tell me that all the time. And obviously it wasn't him, because I see him all the time in Lynchburg. And it was kind of exciting for a moment there. There's a few celebrities that have made their way out of Lynchburg. Connie Britton, she came into the store once. I don't know who the hell she was. She was on 24, I remember that. But she came and went. I rang her up, and I remember Sarah coming over later and being like, do you know who that was? I'm like, nope. It's Connie Britton. They're like, okay, who's that? She's like, she's an actress. I was like, oh, really? What's she been on? And she said a few shows. I'm like, I've never seen any of those shows because I didn't watch a lot of TV for a long, long time. probably like the 80s. Like, I remember there was this probably like 10 to 12 year leap that I watched shows here and there, but like I didn't watch TV consistently. Like, there was a few shows, but like I wouldn't just turn TV on to watch TV. Like, I would always like watch, Cheers or whatever it was at the time. Yeah. I don't know how that came from video games. Oh, because it was on my mind today. I applied it. I applied for a job in San Francisco. It's a news lead for IGN, and I have no qualifications for it, but I feel like, I don't know, the West Coast, if I'm going to stay in the United States, which I can't see us leaving because we can't afford to, would be, I don't know, Colorado, California, Portland, Oregon would be nice. I just don't know. But if I was able to get a job working for a company like that, or I've applied at Blizzard, which I actually got a rejection letter, but I applied again. They were looking for character designers over there. I thought, oh my god, how awesome would it be to just sit around all day and design characters for an MMO? It's like a dream job. I'd love to just draw all these creatures. Just whatever comes into my head, boom, draw it. Be like, what do you think of that? Put that over on that island over there. Maybe they heard, or I don't know. But like that's like the job, or Lucasfilm or something like that. Although now that they're owned by Disney, I wonder. Well, I guess might actually have a better chance at creative freedom. Oh my god. 1, 2. I think Carol might be missing some stones. I'm not missing any stones, man. Alright, that's another 12-minute video on video games, but I applied for this job, and if the universe feels it needs me out in California, then hopefully something will eventually pan out. Because other than that, looks like I'm stuck in Virginia for a while. Awesome. No offense to anyone who is happy here, but Virginia has just reached the breaking point for me. That's just it. Need to get out. Need to get out. I feel like, I'll leave this on a better note. I just feel like, I always think positive. I feel like one of these days I'll get a call, or something will happen to put a job in place. I don't know why. I'm not going to say it's a god. I'm just saying that, like, I don't know. I don't know what spiritually that falls under. I guess karma. Whatever. It's just a nice way to think, I think, sometimes. So, yeah. Thanks for sticking around for this 13-minute and 30-some-odd second video. I'll let you go now. I'll probably do another few more tonight just because I'm on a roll. Alright. Actually, I'm just going downhill fast. But sometimes those are fun for me to watch the next day. Alright. Peace out, brothers.